Hey, what's up, John? Good morning. What's up, Brian? What's up, Paul? How's it going, guys? I'll give it like 30 seconds or something. Man, I really wish SCKT was had cheaper shares. West Coast is awesome to learn to trade because you can do it before your work and stuff. So it's pretty sweet. As a noob, you kind of need to have another job. Can't really trade full time if you're not. If you don't have a job or something. But it sucks when like you kind of got it down and switch into full time, and then you can't. Especially if you're a short seller because you need the borrows. And I'm just not gonna be waking up at 3 a.m. every single morning. But it is what it is, I guess. Okay, well, hey, what's up, Andrew? All right, well, I'm just gonna get right into it. My thoughts on like this week and next week probably is that, and the week after is probably it's gonna be like probably a little slower. There's probably gonna be a little bit less volume. Things may be more short biased. Just because elections coming up and everyone's kind of worried, everyone's kind of scared. Things are selling off. Obviously the SPY is selling off, things like that. Yeah, I think we're gonna see some selling for a couple of weeks at least. And you can kind of see that with just the gap list. Last couple of days, today it's sort of weak. Yeah, we have MGEN and SCKT, but like there's just really MGEN is really the only one that's up over 100%, but it's also only $1 stock. It came from 50 cents, so it's not a crazy move from this to go to 50 cents to $1. SCKT is only up 50%, so you can kind of just tell that it's there's a different vibe, there's no energy in the market. But anyway, I had SNMP on watch from yesterday. I was hoping for a gap into just a nice bounce plus gap short, into the 110s, 120s area, 130s, which would have been really nice. But it's basically given back its whole run up it had, more or less. Anything that I'd be interested in, at least, from the 60s to the 150s. So nothing with that one. So I'm really only focused on MGEN, really. And there's AUVI, but it's an IPO. It's not really I could see taking a shorter or a starter up here, but I don't really have an edge in this because I don't really know what's going on with it. I don't know how to trade IPOs, and I've tried a few times before, but I always get burnt on them, so I just don't. Hey, what's up, Serge? MGEN is the one that has borrows that are decently priced. If we just look at the daily, key levels are gonna be this 150 level, this 120, this 125, 120 level, and then you're gonna have clear support always at 1, and then there's support here in the 80s, 90s. So that's where I would be looking to cover. But if we just look on the pre-market chart, you can see ran 144. It's pulled back to 110 about. Now we're getting some kind of pop, and just into these key levels off the pre-market chart. I mean, we have some decent volume, 30 mil, but keep in mind this is only $1 stock, so 30 mil on $1 would be the same as 10 million pre-market on a $3 stock, which is the same as CKT. And this is not really not much momentum. So just keep that in mind. You got to keep in dollar volume too, not just the volume, because yes, there's more shares traded, but there's less money being put into this, in a sense. If this had like 100 million, then I'd be like, wow, that's insane volume. But 30 million, it's not just not that a whole bunch of volume, I would say. Anyway, what I'm looking for is pops 130s again, and then I'll show you guys kind of the fundamental search that I go through. So again, this flash SEC, it's like $50 a month, but lays everything out nicely. But we got a 53 mil float, take out 17%, held by institutions, and that gives you I don't know, roughly 40 something mil float. And the most important thing that I look for here is S3s, S1s, just dilution. We got 175 remaining that they'll be looking to sell, and I'm just assuming that, and this one's active, so I'm assuming they'll be trying to get some of this out today. And then the other thing that I'm looking for is I go on OTC markets and I just look at financials. Give me a sec while I just see where it's at. I think I'm going to add some because I started in, and I think I'm going to add a little bit here. And for those people that are tripping on Twitter and stuff, as you can see, I'm using Zero. I don't know if you can see it now, but I use Zero Free to do executions. I don't use Zero Pro because I don't have a need for it, which is why I don't have executions to show everybody. So just FYI. Anyway, I got kind of pissed off yesterday. Kind of got to me. Well, it's like a whole week of people telling me I'm fake, so it kind of gets to you. But I just got to learn to not to just ignore everybody. So I think I'm just gonna do that. Just ignore everything. Anyway. So the other thing that I'm looking for is going to be OTC markets. Where'd you go? Oh, here it is. So just I look at the financial tab. This one's free, but I'm looking for if they're losing money here. So if you can just see on the yearly, if you just go down to their net income, they're losing 41 mil and 32 mil, 26 mil, 17 mil, like every single year. So that they're losing a lot of money actually. So this is not a fundamentally strong company. They also have negative financial ratios. I mean, I dropped out of accounting my senior year, so I mean, I know how to read and how to understand all this. So this may be kind of a lot to you, but for me, it makes sense. Just ask questions if you guys have any on this. But financial ratios are also pretty bad too. So fundamentally not the strongest company, I would say. So that's the fundamental research I do. So there's not a whole lot. I'm just really looking to see if this company is not doing too hot, and then I just play off of technicals. I'm more of a technical trader. I just need to create some sort of bias, and that's why mostly my bias is short, just because I trade small caps, which are more volatile. But as we all know, small caps are generally fundamentally pretty poor companies. But I still look at that just to make sure that they have the dilution that I'm looking for, that they are losing money. Because if they are making money, then maybe they're not such a bad company. And if they don't have any dilution, then there's not going to be as much selling pressure. Yes, the stock can still go down from just like normal people selling and from short sellers, but there's not going to be that extra push down. So those are just some important things that I like to look for. Mr. D, are you more short or long? Short. I think I kind of just briefly went over that. Hey, what's up, Preston? Yeah, I was on Twitter last night, just like right before, because I was out. I was out after the market for most of the day, so I just went on Twitter real quick to kind of check everything. Don't feed the trolls. Yeah, I gotta do that. I just kind of got to me a little bit. That was so annoying. But yeah, I'm just gonna start ignoring everything and not really caring what anybody says. I just never really had that, so like I didn't really know how to deal with it. Anyway, SCKT. SCKT. This is an interesting one because just the other day we had this pop up, right? And on a lot of volume. We had 170 mil on a and then resistance at 4.5. So this is different. This is really nice resistance because now we have like I said on MGEN, we had like not so much volume. On SCKT, it's let's just say the average price traded here was like 3.5. You multiply that by 170, that's I don't know, on a $600 million, like 600 million traded or something like that. No, probably less. Yeah, I would say probably like around 600. Anyway, so that's a lot of like dollar volume being traded. So there's gonna be a lot of resistance on this one. However, there's still people probably still short from this, so this could technically maybe squeeze a little bit. But the pre-market chart looking like it's pretty weak. But we got remember those key levels from the other day, and you kind of remember how it traded. We had this crazy action here, right? Spike dumped, spike dumped, spike dumped 5 times until this last final crack. So that's obviously in my head of the potential of what this can do today, and kind of obviously this isn't normal. This is not normal market price action. There's obviously an algo doing somebody's got the upper hand in this one. Are they still going to be in it today? I don't know. I can't say. But all I can do is just trade off the chart, and because I don't have that information. But you can just see the 340, 350 level is very important as support. So if this holds all pre-market and then decides to start squeezing, just be cautious on this one. And then I would just say that this $394 level is kind of what I would risk off of, like short into pushes into these key levels, and then you want to be covering some at least in support. But you can just kind of see that we had this morning spike and it's already rolled over. We had this nice VWAP test of key levels here in the 390s, and then it failed. So does this fail and just fade off the rest of the day? Possibly, but just keep in mind how many times this has tried this 350 level here, and if this keeps soaking this level and keeps going and then starts to pop up over this 360 level, I would be very cautious on that. But again, CSKT, the shares at trade zero, at least when I wake up, are 50 cents, 49 cents, and I found a little bit. A little bit of shares for like 7 cents, and the rest are all 49 cents. So, this is probably nothing I really care about. Now they dropped to like 33 cents, but I'm still not going to be paying 33 cents. So, I'm just watching this one. Maybe there will be a move out of the open or later in the day, and shares will be cheaper. I'll see. But for now, I just got a very tiny position, and I think at like 370 or something. It's very tiny. I could care less if my tiny position goes to 450. It's not gonna do anything. It's not enough for me to really care about. So I'm just holding on to those and seeing what happens. But if we start ramping, I'll probably just cover and replace those higher, because might as well get a better entry, even though I don't have very many shares. Let's see. What's up, Nelson? Good to see you, man. Hey, you changed your name, yeah? You're Igloo Trader, I think, if I'm not mistaken. MK woke up at 7 and shares were at like 50, so I didn't bother. Yeah. 7. Yeah, that's still so early, and they're still so expensive, so it's kind of nuts. Yeah, that's what I thought. I saw that on Twitter. Oh, MGEN. And look at MGEN. You can just see that, sure, it is a little bit scary when it pops over VWAP and it looks pretty strong, but just look back to, your key levels on the chart, and you got clear risk here at 144, and you enter here, you know, in the 120s, you only got 20 cents of risk, which, you know, yeah, it's a dollar stock, so that equals out to like 15% risk, but just size in accordingly. Don't go, you know, if your risk is $1,000 or $500, just take their like the, you know, the respective amount of shares, where if you had to cut at 144, like 145, then you would be only losing that $500 or $1,000. So that's kind of how I size in. You know, just no matter where I get in, I want my dollar risk to kind of be the same, unless it's like an ideal setup, then I'll go bigger and stuff. But in general, that's how I size in. I don't know if there's really, that's it. Like, all I have is MGEN that I care about, and it seems. But again, this is holding 110. I need 110 to crack. Then and then I need 1 to crack, and my goal would be like 80s, 90s. So if there's no questions, that's probably going to be it for my live stream for this morning. Carl, the 160 resistance on MGEN 724 traded 44 million today. We've already traded 35 million. Does that volume resistance look irrelevant to you? No, it doesn't look irrelevant to me. Obviously this is an important day, and it gapped and failed. So I'm not sure if you're saying that if I'm not looking at this resistance at all, or if you're saying that the amount it's traded is not enough compared to what it's been trading this morning. I think that's where you're probably getting at. So yeah, it's not traded a whole, you know, it's traded obviously more today, this morning, than this day here. So I am taking this resistance more lightly, meaning that it can, you know, potentially break out more easily than if this was like, let's say 400 million volume, right? But I'm also considering the fact that there's you know, 20 mil here traded on this day, which created some, and then there's, you know, 30, 20, 15 mil here on these prior days here as well, all on this run. So I'm not necessarily adding up the total, you know, of all these days, but it's more of like, hey, there is some resistance that's weighted by volume, but again, it's more of also looking at the fundamentals and looking at that they have 175 million shares that they still need to get rid of. So 175 million shares, obviously they're not going to pour that all today, but it's a good bet they're going to use some of that today. So, you know, that's, you know, if this was just the 40 million and there's no dilution, then yes, I would be worried, and I would, you know, maybe take a very small position or something. But, you know, because it does have some resistance, plus the fact that they are diluting, you know, most likely, is kind of what gives me a little bit more confidence, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that answered your question. But generally, yes, I would like to see that the volume on the daily is overwhelming the volume traded pre-market and, you know, the day's estimate volume. So MGEN volume is insane. And again, Nick, sure it is kind of, but also consider that this is a dollar stock, so this would be the same as a $3 or $4 stock trading 10 million. So just consider the fact that yes, sure, it's kind of a lot, but it's very cheap. So there's not, as you know, it's not that crazy actually if you think about how much dollars volume is actually being traded. Aren't you shorting SRK Alper? No. No. Why? I shorted it yesterday here in the morning, and then I covered in the pullback because I knew that honestly I was just trading this to trade. I had no real plan. I was so bored that I was like, whatever. I'm gonna take a shot at it because it was up almost 100% or something. So the stupid trade, I lost, like 9 grand on it, which is honestly I was in a lot more than I thought. Not gonna lie. I didn't think I was gonna lose 9 grand on it. So my day got cut in half. So I only made like 8, and I lost 9 on it. So, which was dumb. I didn't realize that, but because I kept adding into every little pullback because I thought it was over. It was stupid. Like this is a large cap. It's not something to trade. I really was just so bored that I was like, whatever, I'll take a shot at it. But I'm not in it today, no. Yeah, 50 cents a share is insane. Yeah, it can definitely squeeze, Nick. I believe it's overextended. Uh, I'm not saying it's not overextended. I'm just it's just a large cap, and that's not my niche. Anyway, we got a few minutes to the bell. I want to kind of get dialed in, make sure I'm watching this. Another pop to VWAP. So, okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. By the way, I didn't have live stream yesterday because there's nothing when I woke up pre-market at all. There's literally nothing, so I just went back to bed until the open. So that's why. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys have a good day trading.